Have you ever wondered what would happen if you could give an entire country a health checkup? Not just one person, but millions of them. What would that report card even look like? Well, we're about to find out because Malaysia just got its results. I mean, really think about that for a second. What would the doctor's diagnosis be for a whole nation? It sounds like something out of science fiction, right? But it's not. It actually happened. Yep, in 2023, Malaysia basically stepped on the scale, got its blood pressure taken, and answered some pretty tough questions. And now, the results from that massive survey are in, giving us this incredible snapshot of the nation's health. All right, so what's the verdict? Let's dive into the big diagnosis. And we're going to kick things off with a number that, well, it's pretty staggering. Okay, here it is, 2.3 million. Before I even tell you what that is, just let that number hang in the air for a moment. It's not just a statistic, it represents a huge number of people. So what is that number? Well, that's how many adults in Malaysia are living with not one, not two, but at least 3 major chronic diseases, all at the same time. We're talking about a really complex, multi-layered health crisis for millions. The report has a catchy name for it, the 3+1. So you've got your big 3, diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. The +1, that's obesity, which often comes along for the ride. And let's be super clear, these aren't minor issues. They are the main culprits behind heart disease and stroke. But here's where it gets even scarier. It's about what people don't know. Take diabetes. For every 5 adults who have it, 2 of them have absolutely no idea. They're just walking around, going about their lives, completely unaware. And it's pretty much the same alarming story for hypertension, high blood pressure. About 1 in 3 adults has it, but a huge chunk of them are also totally in the dark. That's why it's called the silent killer, right? It does its damage behind the scenes. Now, let's look at that +1, obesity. This timeline, wow, it tells a very clear story. Back in 2011, we were under 45%. Fast forward to 2023, and that number has climbed to over 54%. We blew past the halfway mark and just kept on going. The trend is, well, it's not good. Okay, so that's the what. A pretty heavy diagnosis, but why? What's going on in our day-to-day lives that's leading to all this? Let's unpack the reasons. First up, movement, or the lack of it. 1 in 3 adults in Malaysia is not physically active. Just think about that. 1/3 of the population isn't getting that basic level of activity needed to help fend off the very diseases we just talked about. And it's not just about hitting the gym, it's also about hitting the pillow. Turns out 2 out of every 5 adults aren't getting the recommended 7 hours of sleep. And this isn't just about feeling groggy the next day. Chronic sleep deprivation is seriously linked to a higher risk of obesity, diabetes, and hypertension. But this next number, honestly, this one just floored me. 95.1%. Let that sink in. That's practically everyone. So what is it? It's the percentage of adults who don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every single day. So to put that into perspective, the goal is about 5 servings a day. The national average, just 2. That is a massive gap in our diet, and you can bet it's having a huge impact on our overall health. Okay, we've talked a lot about physical health, but there's another, equally important side to this story, one that's often harder to see. Let's talk about mental health, because just like the other issues, there's a silent epidemic brewing here too. And here's another big number for you, 1 million. According to the survey, that's the estimated number of adults in Malaysia suffering from depression. It's such a powerful reminder that our well-being is about so much more than just our bodies. But what's really jaw-dropping is how fast this is all happening. The number of people with depression, it's doubled. In just 4 years, since 2019. That's not a slow trend, that's an explosion. And this is the part that's really heartbreaking. It's not just an adult problem. 1 in every 6 kids is now experiencing mental health problems. And just like with the adults, that number has also doubled since 2019. This is a crisis affecting our youngest and most vulnerable. So, with all these warning signs flashing, physical health, mental health, the whole shebang, the big question is, what are we doing about it? Are we being proactive? Let's take a look at how we're actually interacting with the healthcare system. Get this, 2 in 5. That's the proportion of adults who didn't get any kind of health screening in the past year. Even though we know these diseases are often silent, a huge number of people are basically flying blind, just hoping for the best. So you have to ask, why not? And the reasons are so revealing. The number one reason people give, I feel healthy. And number two is, I don't have any symptoms. This really gets to the core of the problem, doesn't it? We're waiting to feel sick before we check. But these silent diseases just don't work that way. And even for the people who did get a checkup, nearly half of them only went because a doctor told them to. It wasn't their own idea. This really points to a reactive mindset, right? We're waiting for a problem to be pointed out instead of proactively looking for one.
Okay, let's pull all of this together now. After looking at the charts, the trends, and the behaviors, what is the final verdict from this national health checkup? What's the bottom line?
Look, the data is crystal clear. The trends are definitely concerning. We're facing some major challenges with chronic diseases, our daily habits, and our mental health. And it's all made worse by a lack of proactive screening. The report has laid it all out there. The diagnosis is in. So the real question it leaves us with is a powerful one. What happens next? And you know what? The answer to that is up to all of us.